Assalamu alaikum wa rahmatullahi wa barakatuh. Welcome back to the program. And of course, in the middle of load shedding, we continue. And right now, though, we turn our attention to African politics. And this time we move to the west of the African continent, Nigeria, which will be hosting their 2023 presidential elections next year. This is the presidential election that everybody's been watching. Current President Muhammadu Buhari steps down after two terms, and what has happened since that is the various political parties have had their primaries, very similar to what's been going on, locally within the ANC, where they have the various elective conferences taking place. So the Nigerian political landscape is very similar to the American landscape, where each party has held primaries, and individuals are going to have to win the primary ticket of their respective political party before they actually embark on the presidential electoral race. And Nigerian politics, very much like American politics, I was there in the 2015 presidential campaign, and it cost quite a bit of money to run an a successful campaign. And in this year's, or at least next year's election campaign, there are no fewer than at least two major business moguls that have entered the race. The one on the one side is former Vice President Atiku Bakr, and the other side is Bola Ahmed Tinubu, who used to be the governor of Lagos State, from the two various parties. But let me not confuse you with all the facts. I'm going to introduce you to my next guest, veteran journalist in Nigeria. His name is Charles Doke. He joins me right now from live from Abuja. Charles, good evening to you and welcome to Salam Media.
Good evening, Lionel. Good evening.
Good evening to you, man. Thank you so much for joining us. Thank you very much for joining us. Yeah, good to see you. I see you still looking very young. Still look not a day over 28. It seems.
Over 40.
Oh no, you.
Yeah.
I'm
You're
just
looking good yourself.
Yeah, I'm just explaining to the viewers that I was joking with you off air that we've reached our 40s, but you seem to be getting the easier way out, because I've got all this gray hair, and you don't even look a day over 28. And mashallah.
I think if you give me 5 years, I'm going to be like you. That's in 5 years, I would have all the grace.
Yeah. No, just a bit of a disclaimer. Charles Doke, I worked with when I was, covering the 2015 presidential election in Nigeria. Now we are, almost, 2 terms later. We are now facing the
Yeah,
2023 election, and we have Muhammadu Buhari stepping down. Charles, perhaps paint a picture for us in terms of where Nigerian politics is at the moment. There was a term or a phrase that I heard a lot when I was in Nigeria, when they would say the polity is heating up. Is the polity indeed heating up right now, or is it still too early before we get to 2023?
Well, look, man, I think the polity is boiling over. It's boiling over.
All
It's
right.
not heating up anymore. It's boiling over. The temperature is just high there. And you know what? We still have about 9 months before the elections. So it's just at the
Right.
stage of the primaries, and the polity is already over boiling. So it promises to be a very interesting time. Come February 2023, when the elections are here. Everyone is talking
Mhm.
politics. There's no one listening to any other thing again.
Wow. So we're looking at the 2023 February, when the electorate will actually go to the polls. Now, where are we right now in terms of who is running with who, in terms of the candidates and their running mates, have has INEC, the Electoral Commission, got all the names of who is going to be running for election come February next year?
Okay, yeah, there are tons and tons of people running for different positions, for governorship, for senate, for the presidency. But of course, our interest is the presidency. And out of all these people running for the presidency, there are three that stand out. I heard you in the introduction talking about having two major candidates. But I tell you, there's a third force that has emerged. So anyone that is in Nigeria would be able to tell you there are three, or possibly even four, The fourth one is a far cry, but I tell you, there are three candidates, all of them business moguls, like you said, and there's a lot of yearning for change by Nigerians. So we already have in the ruling party, which is the APC, we have Bola Ahmed Tinubu, like you've mentioned before. Of course, his deputy or his vice president, his running mate, is not known yet. He only has a name by a politician from Katsina called Masari, who is just a placeholder. A placeholder, from what we've known in the parlance of politics in 2022 now, is that when INEC wants you to gives a deadline for bringing the running mate, and you
Right.
don't still have someone you settled for, you would have to get someone that you would just submit his name. This is the placeholder, so that at any time I settle for another person that I want, I'll just substitute. So we have a placeholder in terms of someone called Ibrahim Masari. That is the running mate for Bola Ahmed Tinubu. And of course, we have the former Vice President Atiku Abubakar, who is running on the platform of the main opposition. Now, that is the People's Democratic Party. He has already clearly come out and presented his running mate, who is presently the governor of Delta State, Dr. Ifeanyi Okowa. So there's no placeholder in the PDP, as it were. Now, when you go to the third force is Peter Obi. Now, Peter Obi happens to be the running mate of Atiku in 2019.
Right.
So they were together on that ticket, and they were able to poll 15 million votes and came second at the time. So Peter Obi now has broken away from the PDP and he has gone to the Labour Party. So he's in the Labour Party, and he also has that issue of getting a running mate. So he also has gotten Doyin Okupe, who was a former spokesperson of former President Goodluck Jonathan, as his running mate. So incidentally, we already have, out of the three main parties that every Nigerian is agitating for, we have two without running mates. We just have placeholders, and then we have one, which is the PDP having a substantive running mate.
Mm-hmm. Now, for people listening to this broadcast, Charles, and they don't understand how tribe plays a huge role in Nigerian politics. The running mate is the person that is going to be, if the candidate wins, that person who's the running mate will become the vice president, and hopefully would succeed his boss after his term in office, is over. So it's often the running mate is often seen as to where the next leader is going to come from. Now, Nigeria has had a northern leader in Muhammadu Buhari, northern Muslim leader. He's from Katsina State. And,
Yes.
the zonal politics, or the politics of zones. Nigeria has got the northern provinces, which are largely Muslim, the south, which are largely Christian or Igbo, and then the south, you get the Lagos and the Yoruba, the different tribes. So you get the Hausa, the Yoruba, and the Igbo. How does this tribal kind of zoning play a role in who becomes the president next and who becomes running mate?
It's not only ethnicity. Some of the factors, two major factors that determine who becomes a leader and who becomes a running mate for that leader, a very, very huge role in the politics here in Nigeria. That is one of the problems, the issues that a lot of parties had, especially the two main parties, when they were bringing out their candidates. For instance, in the PDP, where Atiku Abubakar became the candidate, they had zoned this position to the south initially. A while, after a lot of horse trading and all that, they had to come back and discover, okay, the situation is not right, so we can throw it open. So this issue of always zoning leadership from one part to another is actually to assuage the sensibilities of ethnic groups and different religions that we have. If you look at it, if it comes to religion, the Christianity and Islam, they're almost at par in the country. They're almost like 50-50. So you have the northern part of the country, majority is they're Muslims, and then you have the southern part, majority would be Christians, as it were. Now, why these things play uh, uh, have a lot to say about who becomes the leader in the country is that if you look at the kind of situation Bola Ahmed Tinubu has found himself, that is the reason why he has not been able to get a running mate up to this moment. Bola Ahmed Tinubu is a Muslim. Incidentally, he's not coming from the mainly Muslim part of Nigeria. He is coming from the southwest, where it is the south, and you have more of Christians in the south. So if he has won the primaries in the south, he has to get a Christian from the north in order to balance this things out. So if he's going to get a Christian from the north, that means the Christian is going to be a minority from the north. And once he does that, he might not be politically correct. Because if you get a Christian from the north, it seems from everything that we have, it's going to be that you're not going to have the numbers that you expect to have from the north. So the dilemma is there. Are we going to have a Muslim ticket in terms of when it comes to the APC, because Bola Ahmed Tinubu is Muslim, or are we going to have a Muslim Christian? If he has a Muslim Christian, he's not going to be politically correct, because he would have a lot of problems getting the kind of votes he should have got from the north. And of course, those are the Christians and waiting to see. Once he doesn't pick a Christian from the north, those are the Christians are like, no, that means we are not going to vote. This is Muslim ticket. So we have to be represented on the ballot, you know. Now, when it comes to Atiku Abubakar and the PDP, they have been able to balance that out. So Atiku Abubakar is from the north, and he's a Muslim. So he has picked his running mate from the south, Governor Ifeanyi Okowa, who is a Christian. So everything has panned out well. It has balanced well. They have someone from the north, which you might term as Hausa or Fulani, and then you have someone from the south who is either from Igbo or from Delta, the Niger Delta region. So for the PDP, it has balanced out.
Okay, so I'm actually looking at I'm actually looking at the next question, Charles. Sorry to interrupt. The next question is in it looks like Bola Ahmed Tinubu, when it comes to Nigeria's election, he has a lot going for him in terms of his popularity, but he's already having problems with his running mate. Because of the whole issue of tribe and the whole issue of which zone of the country you come from. Atiku Abubakar, on the other hand, he's running. This is, if I'm not mistaken, his fifth attempt at running for president. But he seems to have his camp in order. He seems to have selected an Igbo from the south, who would be his running mate, and he's a Fulani Hausa from the north. Your opinion with regards Atiku's chances of winning the election? He was vice president under Obasanjo. Obasanjo has already said, "Look, I made a mistake by picking Atiku as my running mate back in long ago," which people don't remember. But now Atiku is where he is now. Do you think this election is for Atiku's take? Is for Atiku to win in terms of his chances?
Okay, well, Atiku's chances are bright. That is, if he does the homework he's supposed to do. That's what we see, because out of all the three different camps that we have, he's the one that has seemed to have done everything well, the way it is expected in Nigeria. You're a candidate from the north. You've gotten your running mate, and everything seems to have balanced up nicely. But the other issue that he might have is the appearance on the scene of the third force, because we wouldn't forget that Peter Obi, until possibly the last 1 month, are part of the People's Democratic Party, and in fact, in 2019, he ran together with Atiku on the same ticket. So he is somewhere else. So if you look at the dynamics of what has happened for Peter Obi to have moved, you discover that he would have picked more people from the PDP than he would have picked from the APC. He was never a member of the APC. So, there's that issue of attrition of voters or members from that. So that could be one problem that Atiku would have to work very, very hard in order to make sure that the absence of Peter Obi does not actually affect him adversely. Other than that, his chances are bright if he actually does his homework. Because if you look at the country, it has been ruled by the APC for the past 8 years. all the indices of development have shown that everything is going down south. So people are yearning for an alternative. So they need something that would be different from what has been there for the last 8 years, and Nigeria is on the brink. So that should be the very good chance for Atiku to be able to get things right and make sure he gets this position this time. Yeah.
All right. Final question, Charles. What role will money play? I mentioned at the introduction that, many of the candidates running for president are business moguls. What role does money play in Nigerian politics? If you are a poor politician, are you ever going to stand a chance to win in Nigeria if you don't have money? And Atiku has got bucket loads of it, and
You
so does
stand no
Bola.
chance. You stand no
So,
chance in Nigeria if you're a
okay.
politician without money.
Okay, all right. Now we don't know the personal wealth of either Bola Ahmed Tinubu or Atiku Abubakar, but from where you are standing, we discussed the political chances. But in terms of the purse, in terms of who might have the money to actually win this election, which one of those two candidates strikes you as having the right amount of, or I could say deep enough pockets to actually pull it off?
To tell you the truth, out of all the three, because I wouldn't throw away the last person. Peter Obi
Mm-hmm.
might seem like a pushover, but he is a business mogul. He has been into corporate businesses for a very long time. He's a very, very wealthy man by all ramifications. He's someone that if he's going to take his own personal funds, he can run for the president. But of course, he's someone that has a different ideology. Now, that's Peter Obi by the side. But once you look at Atiku and Tinubu, they are like two sides of a coin, where all of them have the financial capability. They have the deep pockets to be able to do what they want to do politically. And that's why it's going to be really, really interesting. Because if you look at Atiku, he has done this. There's nothing in this country that can ruin a man much more than contesting for political offices. It has been proven. If you want to be poor, if you have some money, continue going for. Once you contest next year, you contest the next election. I tell you, you're going to go poor. But Atiku is still there, so that's to tell you he has that deep pocket to be able to push this to finish. Now, Bola Ahmed Tinubu is another person, another side of the second side of the coin. He's also extremely rich and affluent. So both of them, I think this is going to be the most competitive elections in Nigeria.
I think on that note, we're going to leave it at there. Charles Doke, thank you very much. As always, a great pleasure talking to you. And we're going to catch up with you when the polity hits up more. We're going to catch up with you and get more insights from Abuja. Yeah. Thank you very much.
Thank you for having me.
You're an absolute. You're welcome. Yes. Charles Doke is speaking to us there live from Abuja, the Federal Capital Territory of Nigeria, rather, talking to us there about who stands a chance to win what in the upcoming Nigerian presidential election. Of course, it's not just the presidential election. Nigeria holds a municipal, governmental, senatorial, and presidential election, if I'm not mistaken, all in the same weekend or the same week. So it's pretty much a logistical nightmare, but they seem to do it every 4 years quite well. And giving us his impressions on who seems to be, heading the race, to replace Muhammadu Buhari as Nigeria's next president. And as promised, we'll keep tabs with our Nigerian journalists on the ground. Charles Doke being one of them to keep us updated with what's happening there in the biggest economy on the African continent. We're going to take a short break, and when we come back, we will have our discussion on how to save for the journey of a lifetime. Stay tuned.